Hello, band directors. This is Dwayne Huff, Band Leadership Seminars, Band Leadership Online, and I hope you're doing fantastic. Happy New Year. Welcome to a brand new marching band season, setting us up for a brand new school season. And the reason I wanted to shoot this video for you is because I want to share with you how to get your students and your student leaders to do exactly what you need them to do and what you want them to do, not just during marching band season, but throughout the entire year. And I can tell what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, Dwayne, that is impossible. I've tried. And listen, I have a teenager who's in band. So I know how you're feeling, but there's a couple of things, actually three things that you can do to help you get them to do what you need them and want them to do and get them to fully understand why you're asking them. And I'm going to jump in here on that in just a second, but I wanted to share it because not a lot of people know this. I do my band leadership live clinics, seminars, 1 day and 2 day throughout the entire year. But when I'm sending this out, it's July and things are starting to fill up, but I've got a few opportunities there. If you haven't booked yours yet and you'd like to talk about a date in July, there's very few of them available left, but August, September, and generally that'll be on a Saturday, October, even November are popular times. So if you haven't booked your live event with me yet and you'd like to do that, reach out to me. My cell phone number is 225-772-3264. Or send me an email, bandleadershipseminars@gmail.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you like my videos and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell and select the all, and you'll be notified when I create more of these videos. And if you're on Facebook or somewhere else watching this, in the comments, I'll leave the information of how you can get in touch with me, more details about the live events, and we can have a conversation. Without further ado, let me jump in on how to get your students and your leaders to do exactly what you need them to do and want them to do to make your program effective. And the first thing that you can do, and here's where I got this from, and here's why I wanted to share this video with you, is because I have a Facebook group called Band Leadership Inner Circle. If you're on Facebook, look it up, join us. But when people join us, when band directors join us, it's strictly for band directors. They go through 3 questions that they have to answer to be accepted into the group. And it's really focused on what is your biggest challenge? What do you want your students to know? And how can I help you make your program more effective? And that's where all of these questions that I'm talking about have come from. But, no matter what question comes in, I'm tempted to say that the way to solve that problem is to bring me in live or to buy my course, but that's not it. There's a very simple answer about how to get your students to take initiative, set the example, have the right attitude, be consistent and committed throughout the year, how to squash the drama, anything that you can imagine that you're wanting your student leaders to do or your students to do consistently to make your program better. There's 3 things that you can do starting right now to make it take and start immediately and nurture it long term. And the first thing, and I'll grab my marker here, green marker. The first thing that you can do, and I know this is going to sound very simple, but hear me out and follow my train of thought, and I'll give you some evidence around this. The first thing is you can tell them what you need them to do, but more importantly, why, or give them a reason because. I'm asking you to do this because, or here's why this is important. Now, I know that sounds simplistic, but there's some evidence behind this. There's a book called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. There was a study done, and I'll shorten that study. They basically wanted to find out how much people would comply with a suggestion, a request, or a demand by simply telling them what to do. And what they found out is when they simply told them without reason, hey, do this, hey, can you do this, hey, will you do that, compliance was 8 to 10% in that study. But the minute that they gave them a reason, didn't have to be a big, huge, significant reason. Could have been a simple reason. Hey, can I cut in front of you in front of the line because I'm late for a meeting? Was one of the examples. That simple reason caused compliance to go up 80 to 90%. And obviously, the more significant and more logical and reasonable that the reason was, the higher the compliance was. So when I say tell them what you need them to do, tell them and give them a reason why. So for example, if it's, hey guys, I need you to take initiative. I can't do this all by myself. First of all, tell them what initiative is, and then tell them why it's important. and then reinforce it over time. So it'll take immediately, the fun will wear off, and then you'll have to continue to reinforce it. But always connect the dots as to why. So tell them and give them a reason. The second thing you can do, and in many cases, this is going to be, it's going to take longer. And one of my mentors told me one time, they said, Dwayne, sometimes slow is fast and sometimes fast is slow. And the slower way that could be faster long term is to ask them. So let's take the initiative example. What if you were to ask them or ask your leaders or ask your students, hey guys, got a quick assignment for me? By the time we meet for band next time or the next rehearsal, the next times we meet as leaders, here's what I want you to look up. I want you to look up the word initiative. I want you to get a definition. And then I want you to come back to band the next time or to their meeting the next time. And I want you to tell me why you believe that initiative is so important to our band program. So in essence, you're asking them to self-discover. Or in the moment, if you're working with a student, they come up to you and they ask you a question, you can simply ask them, say, well, that's a great question. Let me ask you this. Where could you find the answer? What did we do last time? How does that normally work? Who else could you tap into to get those answers? See, when you ask them, you facilitate self-discovery. And though it may take a lot of your time up front, long term, I mean, because I know you've got students who come up to you all the time. I've got a teenage son coming to me all the time. Hey, Dad, what about this? Hey, Dad, how do we do this? Hey, Dad, where do I find that? And I can continue to answer the question for him and solve the problem and give him the answers, but that's a short-term fix because he's going to continue to come back, tug on my arm, ask me the same questions. But if I stop in the moment, I say, well, that's a good question, buddy. Let's think about this for a second. Where could you go to find that? How would that best work? What could you do? What can you control? And why is that important? Sometimes fast is slow and sometimes slow is fast. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to tell them? And if you're going to tell them proactively, or are you going to ask them and let them think through it? But the third one, this is will leverage your time, your influence, your leadership, your impact in getting them to do what you need to do, what they need to do, what you want them to do to affect your program in a positive manner, is you can empower your leaders, your leadership team to be able to, number one, tell, and number two, ask. See, because if you will empower them with the awareness of telling and giving a good reason, see, because many times that this, your student leaders will go and they'll dictate and they'll tell and they'll do this and do that, but they don't stop long enough to say, hey guys, I'm asking you to do this, or the band director is telling us to do this because, or here's the reason why it's important to be super focused and quiet during rehearsal. If they don't give that because, many times it's messed with resistance and the rest of the students don't comply. Or empower them to ask whenever their sections come up to them, or the people in their section come up to them and say, hey, why are we doing this? Why is this important? Why did he ask us to do this? Being able to say, well, let's talk about it for a second. Why might it be important to the program? And facilitating that, they're not telling, they're asking, and people support what they help create. So if they're engaged, they're being asked, they're having to think, they're having to self-discover, all of a sudden they own it and you don't have to manage it, neither do your leaders. So the 3 ways to get your students and your leaders to do what you need and want them to do for your program is, number 1, tell them why it's important. Number 2, have them go on a journey of self-discovery by asking them to seek out and then report back to what it is and why it's important. Attitude, example, initiative, squashing the drama. And then 3rd, empower your leaders. That's what they're there for, is to help you do the heavy lifting and take the burden off of your shoulders. So I hope this added value to you. If it did, if you're on YouTube, please drop a comment. If you're on Facebook, drop a comment. And like this, share this with another colleague. And if you're on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. And tell your students to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because if you have time and you scroll through, you see there's tons of comments from students asking me questions and I answer them just like band directors. And that's what creates the content that serves you guys better. Again, if you'd like to book a live event with me, don't hesitate, reach out. Let's get that booked before it becomes booked up, because I'd love to serve you and your students this year, any time of the year, but especially during marching band season. So have a great day. We'll talk soon. And remember, you can inspire superior performance amongst your students. You just got to tell them, ask them, and empower your leaders. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.